All right, now we're talking about subtracting integers. And now subtracting integers is going to be a little bit more confusing than adding integers. If you're a little confused with adding integers, rewatch the video. If not, and you're good, subtracting integers, here we go. First thing I want you to realize is that this, 2 minus 5. That minus there is actually saying this is a negative 5. Because when we do normal subtraction, the larger number comes first. And then you take away 2 from that larger number. I have 5. I give away 2. I now have 3. But the difference here is I have 2. How do I take 5 away? So see, that's negative. Basically what you're saying is, you're still saying I have 2 and I'm going to give away 5. But with a number line, it just means that you are now going into the negative. Right? I have 2 and I'm going to take away 5. I'm going to give someone 5 even though I don't have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I now have a negative 3. And if you look at this as a negative 5, right here, you have negative 5 and you're adding 2 to it, which would be negative 5 would be here. 1, 2, which would be negative 3. So that's kind of the difference when it comes to subtraction, is that this is swapped. And that instead of having this whole number that's larger here, and you're taking away from this total amount that you have, instead you don't have enough and you're giving more than you have, which means that it's going to be a negative number. Plus this negative number is larger. So let's do some examples here. Same thing here. I have 5 and I'm going to give 13. So I'm going to be in the negative already. The larger number is negative, so my answer is going to be in the negative. So what is that difference there? Basically is what it comes down to. What is that difference? So you can do it many different ways. You can do a number line here, and we could do 5. I'm just going to do it like that, and we'll figure it out as we go. So we have 5, and I'm going to go negative 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 right there. 6, 7, 8. Negative 8. So our answer should be negative 8. Another way to do it, too, is like this. If I have 13 and I have 5, they're opposite, right? This is positive 5, this is negative 5. Find the difference. Would be 8. Now, which number without negative or positive, or without negative, which number is larger? The 13 would be larger in general with positive numbers. But it has a negative in front of it, therefore it lets you know that this is going to be a negative number. It's another way of doing it. Number line, taking the difference, and finding out which number has the negative sign with it, which would be 13, so that one's the larger number. So then my answer is going to have a negative with it as well. If that's confusing, don't worry about that. We can talk about that more in class. Number line works for right now. All right, next one. This one's a little bit different. So we have a negative 7 and then a negative 4. So if we look at that on a number line here, let's start here with negative 7. 6, 5, 4. All right, we have a negative 7, so we're going to go right here. Now here's the thing. I have a negative 7, and I'm going to have, basically I'm going to take away 4 more. So it's not going to be positive, it's going to be negative. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 11. Alright, and now some of you might be thinking like, wait, how does that work? I don't understand. I have negative 7. I'm not adding a positive 4. I'm not doing 4 more as positive. I'm actually taking more away. So it's kind of like I don't have 7, but then now I owe 4 more, or 4 more being taken away from me when I don't even have them in the first place. So another way to think about this is like this. Because the signs match up, just like this. 7 plus 4. They're both positive, so you add them together, right? 7 plus 4 equals 11. Here, with they're both negative, you do the same kind of thing. 7 plus 4 equals 11, but because they're both negative, you know that you have to add a negative sign. Just an easy way to think about it as far as solving. But the reason being is that you have negative 7, and then you lose 4 more, basically, and you have negative 11. Easy way to think about it, though. All right, here we go. Also, I have a little note here for you guys before I do this third one. Subtracting any integer is the same as adding its opposite. So subtracting any integer is the same as adding its opposite. So that's kind of important too. Basically, subtracting any integer is like adding its opposite. So basically that works with this one right here. Is like I don't know, basically all of them in a way. Subtracting any integer is the same as adding its opposite. Let's do this one, and we'll see if it definitely applies on the next one. Number line it. All right. Here we go. 3 minus a negative 9. Now here's the thing. Subtracting any integer is the same as adding its opposite. So I'm subtracting this integer, right? It's the same as adding its opposite. So if I add its opposite, I'm adding 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 12 is my answer. Okay, subtracting the integer, subtracting this integer is the same as adding its opposite of 9. Of negative 9. 3 plus 9 equals 12. All right. Now, why does it not apply on these two? Because of the difference. If this is subtraction, this is kind of, you got to think of this as like, this is negative 7 minus a positive 4. So if you do that, then you think, or it does work, but you don't think of it this way, or at least you're not maybe looking at it this way. Negative 7 plus negative 4 is what that would look like. And then same here, this you would look at it like 5 minus a positive 13, which if we follow this, subtracting any integer is the same as adding its opposite, 5 plus negative 13. If that confuses you, don't worry about it. We'll talk about it more in class. I kind of forgot that I put this note down here at the bottom until this last one. So we can talk more about this in class. If you understood it, great. If not, write it down. Write that question down. Like, I don't understand that part about the subtracting is like adding the opposite integer. And we'll talk about it in class.